The warning is not a new one.
Our world faces a triple planetary crisis of climate change, nature loss and pollution.
For generations, humanity, often without realizing it, has been destroying the natural world. In the name of progress, we have polluted the Earth's oceans, chopped down its forests and clouded its skies. Today, nature and our own survival rest on a knife's edge.
It's time to ratchet up the action that we need to have at the country level.
The United Nations Environment Programme was established with one goal in mind: to unite the world in saving our planet.
It is clear that the environmental crisis which is confronting the world will profoundly alter the future destiny of our planet.
For 5 decades, UNEP has used science and its mandate to bring the world together to help nations find solutions to grave environmental threats.
What is this pollution that we have heard so much about?
The Mediterranean is sick. It's being poisoned slowly but steadily for those who need it most.
The 1970s found a world grappling with an unprecedented crisis of pollution. Could the seemingly irreparable damage be undone? UNEP inspired the world to take action, preventing oil spills and toxic discharge by ships, uniting 143 coastal states to limit ocean pollution and save marine life, reducing air pollution and ending the scourge of acid rain. But soon, the world would face its biggest environmental challenge yet.
The destruction of the ozone layer on a global scale is no longer just a theory. The hole over the Antarctica is no longer an isolated seasonal phenomenon.
If the breach continued to grow, the planet would suffer lethal levels of ultraviolet radiation, harming human health, biodiversity, and climate. In 1987, UNEP facilitated the Montreal Protocol. Over 30 countries agreed to phase out the production of almost 100 ozone-depleting substances. The protocol remains one of the greatest achievements of multilateralism.
All nations gathered here to be proud of what we had achieved.
This success set the tone for a series of powerful accords, limiting the movement of toxic waste across borders, protecting the Earth from dangerous, long-lasting chemicals, and restricting the international trade in mercury. Most recently, in 2021, UNEP finished a 2-decade-long campaign to rid the world of highly toxic leaded petrol, saving an estimated 1 million lives each year. As the world grappled with pollution and waste, another crisis was brewing.
I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see.
Poaching and habitat loss were pushing some of the world's most iconic animals to the brink of extinction. Driven by science, UNEP supported a series of international treaties, limiting and in some cases banning the trade of endangered species, safeguarding migratory animals, expanding protected areas, and increasing financing for biodiversity protection. The seminal Earth Summit in Brazil introduced the idea of sustainable development.
This is an historical moment for the mobilization of all peoples of the world.
Over the last 5 decades, UNEP has helped more than 100 countries enshrine the right to a healthy environment in their constitutions and produced scientific studies to guide member states in their decision-making. In 2012, a new international body was established to provide scientific data on biodiversity in a joint effort from UNEP and other UN organizations. In 2019, it found that 1 million species face the threat of extinction, underscoring the urgency to act.
Every action we take alters the earth that future generations will inherit.
The world is starting to recognize the effects of planetary warming, but UNEP began sounding the alarm 3 decades ago. As early as 1988, UNEP and the World Meteorological Organization launched the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. For over 30 years, IPCC science has helped member states counter climate change, earning the body a Nobel Prize for its work. UNEP-backed studies have informed some of the planet's most crucial climate accords. These include a 1992 agreement that set a template for curbing greenhouse gas emissions, followed by the Kyoto Protocol and the landmark 2015 Paris Agreement.
I'm proud to announce that 175 parties have signed the Paris Agreement.
UNEP has also mobilized 450 banks, insurers and investors to help create a more sustainable world.
We don't want fossil fuels anymore.
A lot has happened in the last 50 years, but it's the next 10 that will be pivotal for life on this planet.
But in fact, what you and I and other ordinary people around the world can do will not by itself save the natural world. The great decisions, the great disasters that face us can only be dealt with by governments. And that's why this organization is so important.
Over the past 50 years, we've seen when the world decides to act, the world comes together to act. Together with member states and partners, we've achieved a lot. But now is the time to truly make that lift for humanity and to do much more and much faster. And I have every reason to be hopeful. As an organization grounded in science, UNEP will do everything in its power to push for breakthroughs. Our planet and humanity depends on us. Together, we can build a greener and safer and fairer world for all.
Yeah, top of the morning to each and everyone joining us from every part of the country. We are glad to have you in the on-body session and the masterclass session of the Climate Actors Accelerator Programme. On behalf of the Leadership Council of SDSN Nigeria, we want to welcome you to this great program. And I personally want to congratulate each and everyone that are successful, selected to this program. And right about now, we are not going to be spending so much time because we have various activities for today. We are going to start with the on-body session while we move on straight to the masterclass session. And the on-body session is going to be led by the co-chair of Sustainable Development Solutions Network in person of Professor Ngozi Odiaka. Good morning, Ma. We are glad to have Hello, Prof. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes. Good morning. We are glad to have you on this call to welcome our new actors who are set to pioneer solutions towards solving the global climate crisis.
Yeah, can I go on now?
Yes, you can go on, Ma.
Okay. Good morning once again to every one of us. I again want to congratulate you for the great opportunity you have to be part of this program for this time. The Great Accelerator Program. You are the actors, and I sincerely congratulate you on what you are about to do. We have this program because we know that as Nigerians, issues of climate change is also a big issue to us. And we are trying to look at climate change as a solution to so many things that are happening to us economically and otherwise. So there are core areas of focus that we're going to have in this particular program. The environmental sustainability, we're going to look at biodiversity, issues of waste management is going to be part of it, green and circular economy will be part of what we're going to deal with. I want to encourage each and every one of us to see it as a major issue to be able to bring about a solution to these problems that we have. I will not overemphasize the fact that when you look at climate change generally in the world today, there is a serious concern, and Nigeria is not, is also part of these concerns. And as a nation, we are looking at challenges of deforestation. We're looking at challenges of desertification. We're looking at challenges of extreme weather that we are all experiencing even now. So I want to encourage us that as we go into this program, knowing fully well that being an actor, you are actually going to bring about solutions, you know, possible solutions to issues that are on ground. So once again, I congratulate you very seriously, and I hope you have made up your minds to go through the different stages. Just going to be a 1 week program for the next few weeks. Every Friday by 9 a.m. we kickstart, and of course, we're going to gain from the lectures and the interactions that we're going to have with you. So on behalf of the Leadership Council of United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network Nigeria, led by our able director, Professor Labode Kpokwola, I wish to welcome you to this laudable cause and pray that the Lord will see you through. You're welcome, and please make the best use of the time that you have. And please open your hearts, open your minds to take in, to discuss, and to bring out solutions to issues of climate change. You are great minds, I want to believe, as actors of climate change, and I wish you all the best. So have a wonderful time in this program. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for the wonderful welcome. Thank you for the insight.
I must have apologized. My network is not too good, so I had to switch off the.
Okay, ma.
I said my network is not really very okay, so I had to switch off the video. It was going off and on. Yes, it was going off and on, so I wasn't too sure what was happening. So I wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof, for the wonderful session, ma. And just like she mentioned, this program is going to span for throughout the month of March, and we're going to be having a masterclass session each and every Friday. And the activities of the Climate Actors Accelerator Programme is going to be fun, and it's really going to be engaging with each and every one. I will just quickly also share one or two other information that will guide us about the program, as regards the program. And let me just share my screen so that we can have sufficient information. And a link is also going to be shared shortly for those who might want to join via Zoom. We are also making an availability for each and everyone who wants to join the session via Zoom. Yeah, you can join via Zoom. The program directors are on that currently. And also the subsequent week, you can also join the session via Zoom or YouTube, whichever one you prefer the most. So just in a minute while I share my screen to briefly discuss one or two things about this session. Okay.
This network is something else.
And have it yet. PDF. Okay. Okay, I think I have. Please, for those of us that might be joining, we advise you join with the right name, which of you to join with. So let me just, sorry why I just quickly display my screen for the presentation. I think I can share now. I believe you can all see my screen, and I would just quickly like to make some information, just like in addition to what Prof mentioned earlier. The Climate Actors Accelerator Programme is basically a unique opportunity for each and everyone, mostly the climate innovators, to join the global climate campaign, and also innovation towards solving climate crisis. And the goal of this program is to build a network of young champions who are going to pioneer solutions towards solving global climate crisis. And basically, this program has three objectives, which start from promoting the sustainable development in Nigeria by encouraging the transition to a low carbon economy and reducing the country's dependence on fossil fuel, and also addressing the need of vulnerable communities and promoting education for sustainable development. We basically talk more about the phases of this program. For this masterclass session, this masterclass session falls to the first phase of the program. And for the Climate Actors Accelerator Programme, we'll be having 3 sessions. And the first session is phase 1. That's the masterclass session where we have the assessment. We're also going to have the trainings. We're also going to have the submission for proposal, the submission and approval of proposal for school projects and community projects, which I will share more information on for the phase 2. And also at the end of the masterclass session, we are going to be having the final assessment and knowledge evaluation. The final assessment and knowledge evaluation is basically to test our knowledge on the learners throughout the masterclass session. You are having like 9 to 10 masterclass sessions on various aspects of climate, renewable energy, forest, biodiversity, and the likes. And also, the phase 2 has to do with the community project. We are going to be having a community project across all the states. For this program, we have participants from 32 states in Nigeria as we speak, and we are going to be having community projects across these 32 states. And the very first project has to do with cleanup and environmental campaign. And while the second project has to do with tree planting, and the third one has to do with climate education. The climate education is an individual project which we are going to be doing. And the climate education project is something you are going to be working with in order to, because definitely you've learned a lot of things through this program. The program is designed for you to also train others and also sensitize them about the need for adopting various climate adaptation and mitigation strategies. While we move to the third phase of the project, which is the climate innovation process. The very first activity for the third phase of the climate innovation stage is the climate innovation bootcamp. So at the end of phase 1 and phase 2, participants of this program are going to be graded, and definitely you are going to have successful participants, and we're also going to have some people that I won't say that they are going to, nobody's going to move you off the program anyway, but some are going to proceed to phase 2, 3, but not all participants are going to proceed to phase 3. Please, I will appreciate if we can all mute our minds. Yes. Sorry, I never knew that I was muted. Okay, I believe you can hear me now. Hello? Please, can any of the admin confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, you are audible now.
All right, thank you very much. I never knew that I was muted when that happened earlier. I mentioned, okay, I'm trying to, let me go back to the phase 3. I think that was where I got muted, right?
Phase 3, sir, phase 3.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So, like as I was earlier explaining, the phase 3 is meant to start in the month of May, and the phase 3 has to do with various activities. So I mentioned that it's only successful applicants in phase 1 and phase 2 of this program that are going to move to the climate innovation stage. And the climate innovation stage, the strategy is for each and every actors to pioneer solutions towards solving the global climate crisis. Like I mentioned earlier, that the last year accelerator program which we had the top champions. I can say that the top 10 champions of this program got a lot of international opportunities after they launched their solution. And I even had one of them that was able to attend a training in Germany. She was able to attend the COP27, COI as well, the Conference of Youth, and so many international engagements which she got through after she launched her innovation. And the innovation still exists till today. So at the end of this program, which is the phase 3, there is going to be we are going to have the Climate Innovation Bootcamp, which will detail various innovations towards solving climate crisis. Next, this might has to do with renewable energy. It might have to do with forest and biodiversity conservation. It might deal with water. It might deal with carbon credit. It might various aspects. So definitely, each and every successful applicant of this participant of this program are going to be engaged in the innovation process. And during the phase 3, each and everyone are going to submit their innovation in form of a pitch deck. There is a general template which the organization makes use of, and the pitch deck is what is going to be graded by the steering committee, innovation steering committee, and they will select the best innovators who are going to further pitch their solution, to the jury during the World Environment Day. So, like I mentioned, the virtual graduation and certification will be coming up in June. That's 5th and 6th of June. But the schedule for this program is phase 1. The phase 1 of the project is what we are doing right now, which is going to span through the month of March. And phase 2 is going to span through the month of April. And phase 3 is going to hold the month of May, and we have the virtual graduation and certification at the end of the program. So I also I was speaking about the benefits. Yeah, there are a lot of benefits to this program, far and near. Yeah, aside the knowledge, you are going to have it's going to be a great benefit for each and everyone. Let me just say that I wouldn't like to paint the sky blue for now. So, and you also have a great networking opportunities with experts and like minds across in the field of or climate action. And also you get to expand your impact through collaborative effort, because there is always a room for partnership in each and every project we are working. I believe, just like I mentioned, this project is going to be running from today till the 6th of June, and we are going to have 10 masterclass sessions, and we are going to have just a single bootcamp, but it's going to be 4 different sessions, only for selected participants. And based on the statistics that was given, we have a high number of males that was selected anyway, though we have a low participation for the female. That is 176 female and 339 males that are joining this program. And I believe it's going to be an impactful project indeed for each and everyone. And like I mentioned, participants of this program cut across 32 states of the Federation. So this program is something that it's really going to impact you and it's really going to transform you. And the main goal of this program is to develop the network of climate champions that are going to pioneer to restore our planet and keep the ecosystem safe. I believe these are the brief information I have to share with us this morning. I think I can on my video now and also entertain one or two questions before we move to the masterclass session for today. So for our Zoom participants, you can just raise your hand and ask your question. And those who are on YouTube, you can also use the comment section to ask your question briefly. Please just tell us your name, where you are connecting from, and ask your question right away. We will appreciate you make that very brief. Okay, I think I can see Abdullah's hand up. For those who are joining on YouTube, please you can use the comment section to ask your question. The program managers are going to pick it from there, and we attend to each and every question. So, Abdullah, you can ask your question, please.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdullah Baba Machuna. I'm from Yobe State, the Northeast Nigeria. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to contribute our own quota to address the issue of climate change in Nigeria, particularly in northern part of Nigeria, where we experience climate crisis. Yeah, my question is there any fiscal, after the virtual session of this program, is there any fiscal meetings where fellows can discuss and share ideas and bring an innovative solution to the sustainable development goals, particularly the SDG 13? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Abdullah, for that sensitive question. And the answer is the fiscal meeting is going to be conducted across the states. It's something because we call it meet and greet. Yeah, we call it meet and greet. But basically, aside the meet and greet, we are going to be having an ecological tour, most especially for people that are very close to the location of the ecological center, which we'll be visiting. So, but aside that, we expect that each and every state should meet. And another thing, you've all been added to a general platform. You're also going to be having your interstate platforms where you get to connect with each other across the states. So these you are going to decide amongst yourself and get to decide on when you want to have it. So we have Shalom. Shalom, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yes, and I'm from River State. And thank you so much for the section. Thank you so much for the wonderful program that has just been orchestrated. So I have about like 3 questions. So I was wondering, do we get funding for like at any point of the projects that we are supposed to, do, like the tree planting, the cleanups or the environmental campaigns? Do we get things like maybe placards, or do we get funding to buy some of the materials that are going to be used? And the second question too is, do we get workshop or training materials like after the master classes or after the boot camps, do we get the material such that we can recreate something that we would use for the climate education section? And then finally, after the submission of the pitch deck and presentation, I heard you mention that after the climate innovation stage, you get to pitch to the jury something about the World Environmental Day, something like that. So I was wondering, do you get funded for the project that you have pitched? Because I already have some ideas, but I was wondering, do I get funding for the project? Like if I successfully get through to the phase 3 of the project? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. I will just say that you can be lucky to get the funding for your project which you pitch. All depends on whatever the investor says. And regarding the funding for projects, SGSN, well, I will refer you, we'll definitely refer you, because we have some states that these placards, you have to, your publicity materials and your promotion materials are things you have to do from your hand. And you have to do it as a state. You are not doing it individually. So, but I remember that some states did various placards last year. You can still connect you to their state rep, and I believe these are materials that can still be available. But these are things you have to sort from various ends. You have to sort from your end and see how you can achieve. But definitely, most materials which you need that has to do with copies, e-copies, we are going to supply that with you, for you rather. And I'm trying to remember a question you asked at first, which has to do with the climate education. I hope I've attended to all your questions. Hello, Shalom. I hope I've attended to all your questions. So regarding the recordings is there forever. Okay, the host, please, you can raise your hand up. Please, can you allow Shalom to speak? So the recordings are on YouTube forever. You can have access to it over and over. Aside the fact that you are coming on Zoom or YouTube to have live sessions, you can always go back on YouTube to watch those sessions. So that's what I have to say as regards the session. And there is a folder that has to do with learning resources, in which they've provided all the materials, all the presentation slides from facilitators, all additional learning materials that has to do with climate education, environmental sustainability. These resources are going to be added to that platform, whereby you can get to access it at any point in time. All right, I think we have Fatima's hand up. Please, can you please confirm if we have questions from people on YouTube?
Sorry, Mr. Emmanuel. Sorry, before you move to Fatima, the first question was for the tree planting and the cleanup. So are you trying to say like we're doing this states and not individual?
Yes, for the tree planting cleanup, it's meant to be a state project. The only individual project you are going to be working on is the climate education, which you are to do with, you are to work with a particular school or a particular group. And yeah, there will be further guide as regards that. But for the tree planting, I remember that Ekiti State did tree planting last year. You can't hear anything. Please, Mr. Finn, can you confirm if I'm audible? Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you. For the tree planting project, I remember that Ekiti State did the tree planting project last year, and what was the strategy they used? We have this partnership with IITA. They contacted IITA, and the manager of IITA Forest Center referred them to another forest institute in Ekiti State. That was where they got their tree seedlings free. They got everything free. So they didn't pay for anything. But in as much as we are able to process this ahead of time, and I believe these are things you can secure without paying for it in any form. So Fatima, please, you can ask your question. Please, can you allow Fatima ask her question, or Akintola?
Good morning, sir. Please, I live between Kano and Abuja, and I think by end of March, I'll be leaving for Abuja. So you said they are allocating people to their states groups. So is it that if I join that of Kano, I can go back and join that of Abuja when I go back to Abuja, or I don't know how it will be, but I would really love to be part of the program from the beginning to the end. So I don't know how my own case will be, sir. Please, can you help me?
Okay, Akintola, you can ask your question so that we can just attend to all the questions at once. I think I can note the questions down at my hand.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know if I'm audible now.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you for putting this together. I am Akintola from Kwara State, though I have a challenge with my network, so I came in about 5-6 minutes ago. I'm part of an organization, a grassroots and upcoming organization that is into biodiversity conservation and tree planting. And hearing about Ekiti State's projects for last year, in which you said there was reference from IITA on how they procure the materials used for their afforestation program. I am requesting what is the modalities for Kwara State for the programs that has been itemized, especially the tree planting program. I would really love to be engaged in that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that question. You can have your question, Mr. Mayowa. Mayowa, you can ask your question. Please, you can unmute.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. We can hear you.
Okay,
yes, we can
good
hear
morning,
you.
everyone. I'm Mayowa from Oyo State. So I would like to ask on the reports we'll be submitting for each activities and everything we'll be doing. So I would like to ask, would there be like a sample, like for the case of some of us that haven't like done something like that, will it be included in part of the links that we send that contain the the materials we'll be using? So I just want to know if there will be a sample of how to write out the reports for each activities. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can have your question, Alima. I think we have a question from Alima. Please, for those who are on YouTube, I believe we can share their questions here as well. And I'm also going to attend to the WhatsApp issue. Some people said they've been unable to join the WhatsApp platform. I will also attend to that while we move on. So Alima, you can ask your question, please.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Halima. So it's regarding this phase 2 and phase 3. It seems as if it has to be physical, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be around physically in the country at that moment. Is it going to be a problem? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Speak on.
Okay, I said it's regarding phase 2 and phase 3. It seems that you have to be physically around, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be in the country at that during April and May. So I don't know, is that going to be a problem?
Okay, all right. I am going to respond to that. Physical presence.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So please, can you please check our program managers, can you check the Zoom, the YouTube platform for questions from various participants? We appreciate you attend to each and everyone's question. All right, so let me quickly attend to the questions we have while we continue after the first masterclass session. We are going to be having our first masterclass session today. Regarding the state groupings, the state groupings is what we are going to do from our end, and the program managers are going to share the list for interstate groupings, whereby you have to join the state which you are currently in. I know that some of us are currently at home. We have some students that are on this program, or we have some core members that are on this program. Some of us are currently at home, or while some of us are in school, you might want to travel back home or back to school later in April or May. But definitely, it's very important for you to check your itinerary and know where exactly you are going to be in the month of April. Mostly in the month of April, which has to do with community projects. And this community project is what we are going to give back to the society and also further sensitize them about various aspects of climate crisis and how environmental impact, whereby they can get to reduce their environmental impact, conserve resources, and further be the sustainable future for all. So the state groupings is what it's very important for you to know the state where you are going to be in the month of April, and you participate actively. Just like the last actor asked that it's likely she is not going to be in Nigeria. The fact that you are not going to be in Nigeria, as much as you actively participate in your community projects, there are various ways you can participate. In fact, you can even be the one frontlining the project while you are in Nigeria. Maybe when it now gets to the implementation process, you couldn't go to the field with them, but you need to have a cordial understanding with you both needs to have a cordial understanding with each other. So that's the response that I'm going to give to our last actor that asked the question, and the very first question that has to do with state groupings. Then for modality for tree planting projects, we are making our plans as regards that, and we hope to have a confirmation and endorsement with the IITA. So for each and every state that wants to implement the state tree planting projects, we hope that we are also going to get a proposal as soon as possible. So for this project, for the Climate Actors Accelerator Programme, each and every document you need are going to be shared with you. Let's talk about the proposal submission guide, your community development project guide, your school letter of introduction to the school you might want to do your climate education, each and every, then the reporting templates, the pitch deck guide. We are going to share a template, a standard template with you, which you are going to use. Then your physical presence. Okay, I remember someone asked for a question regarding physical presence. Yes, this project has, when you check the information when you are registering, it's an hybrid event, but the physical presence does not require you to travel all the way from Lagos to Abuja. No, your physical presence is still within your state, and it has to be on an agreed time or an agreed location which you all chose as a state team. So you all have to be working together. And regarding the schedule for masterclass session, the masterclass session are going to hold throughout the Fridays of March. And for each day, it's only today that we are not going to be having 2 sessions. For each day, we are going to be having 2 sections each day. Please, before the week runs out, they are going to share the program guide with you, which details the module for each week and the date for each week. Yeah, so, and all other activities that you need to know about. I feel at this point, I might just need to pause a bit and we move on. I'm still going to attend to more questions after the first masterclass session, which we are having today, but it's very important for us to move on to the first session today without taking much of our time. So right about now, we'll be having the first masterclass session on environmental sustainability, and leading that session is, I always call him my green king. Yeah, he's an environmental expert in person of Mr. Mayokun Yamolere, and many of us might definitely got to meet him before, who is a community development and disaster risk management enthusiast, who has 6 years experience in promoting climate-friendly solutions and actions. Between 2019 and 2021, consulted for the United Nations Development Programme and Federal Ministry of Environment in Nigeria, helping to research climate change impacts and produce an environmental implementation action plan for the country, which was presented at the Secretary General Climate Summit in Abuja in Nigeria. And he has environmental control and management, and is currently running a PhD in the same discipline. He's also one of the young persons trained and certified by the former United States Vice President as a reality leader. Is driven by the desire of an environmental sustainability conscious world with individuals and institutions as its front runners. This morning, we are glad to welcome our first facilitator on board on the masterclass session on environmental sustainability. Good morning, Mr. Mayokun. It's good to have you on this call.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Emmanuel, everyone. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear.
Awesome. Pleasure to be on this call and to be leading the first conversation, the first masterclass. My name is Mayokun Yamolere, as you have already heard. I'm an environmentalist, passionate one, a professional one, and yeah, I love everything about the environment. I love speaking for the environment. I love for the environment, and I hope that after this conversation, I'll be able to stir something in you to also take action. And I know many of us would already be taking action, or hope I can inspire you to continue and give you new reasons to lead more action, take more environmental and climate action, and also the things give you resources that can aid you in doing. Class, this session is going to be interactive. Okay, so please, where are you joining from? I can see some people have their names, their location as the first part of their names. Can I see in the chat room, just type where you're joining from, everybody? The town you're in, yeah, the town and the states. I'm looking at the chat room for that. I am joining from, oh, sorry, Emmanuel, you are muted.
For each and everyone that on the YouTube platform, you can use the comment section to location where you are joining from. The program administrators are going to pick it up from there. And those who are on the Zoom platform, please, it's very important you rename your display name, which has to start from your state name. I can only see Abuja, Saliu. All other people that are on the Zoom platform, ensure you rename your display name and to start with your state name. Those who are on YouTube will pick your information and share with the facilitator. Zoom. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I love your cap. I love the cap. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm seeing comments in the chat. Myself, I'm joining from Lagos right now. Abuja, Enugu. Okay, nice to connect with you all. So moving on from that, the name of this fellowship is what's the name of the fellowship? Emmanuel, I have 1 hour, right? How many minutes do I have for the presentation?
1 hour, my prof.
Okay, that's including the questions or without questions?
We attend to questions after.
All right, great. So this whole program, this is not for you, Emmanuel. I'm asking the participant. I just want somebody to type the meaning of CAAP in the chat room. I know many of you applied. You saw the flyer, you applied, but there's something that happens to some of us students that yeah, I'm a part of this fellowship, I'm a part of this program, and sometimes until maybe you're filling it in your CV or you're having to present your certificates, you may not really remember the full name. Okay, thank you. Climate Actors Accelerator Programme. Thank you. Who is the first person to post? Wow, a lot of comments. Okay, I think Shalom from Rivers. Climate Actors Accelerator Programme. Yeah, thank you. And I see the other comments. So why do we need to take climate action? A quick question to anybody. I want one response. Why are you on this program? Why are we having a program? Why are we having CAAP? What's the essence? Yeah, Arab, you can speak. I don't know if how the setting is. Admin Arab wants to speak. Okay, I think our admins are not permitting Arab to speak yet, so let's just move on. Arab, I hope you can still speak later on during the call. So somebody, Shalom again. Shalom posted that to save my community from climate crisis. Okay, somebody speaking?
Yes, sir. It's Arab, sir.
Okay, yeah, Arab, please go on. Arab, oh, you're muted again. Okay, I will just move on. So I'm supposed to make a presentation on environmental sustainability, and when Emmanuel reached out, I've been fixed up being about environmental events and all that. So, and I had to make some slides, and I was thinking, how do I present this whole concept of environmental sustainability to these amazing people I'm going to be engaging? So I designed something. I hope you get to like it, and we are going to get on that very soon. But while I joined the call earlier, and I think I got the last part of Emmanuel talking about the whole essence of the program, then I quickly went through the concept note again, and I saw that it would be proper to start. I don't know if Emmanuel has done that, but that it would be proper to start this whole conversation by talking about climate change, and how it comes to be. I know many of us are familiar with the term climate change, and we know the textbook definition. Climate change is the radical change we're experiencing around the planet because of global warming, because the sun is shining more. No, the sun is not shining more. The sun is still shining as it used to shine. We are just feeling the impacts more. Too much rain now, or haphazard rainfall patterns. We are seeing the effects on plants, on animals, on agriculture, on health, in virtually all aspects of our lives. So we have that definition, but so I know that some of us may not be able, of course, some of us may not be able to really explain it. So I'm going to just do a quick presentation around global warming and climate change before I move on to my main presentation, the slide I prepared. Can you all see my screen, please?
Yes, you can see it.
All right, awesome. So this whole talk about climate change is caused by a concept called global warming. I'm sure many of you are not new to that. And I just want to make an attempt to explain what global warming is. Now, if you're seeing this image, you see at the center of the image is the planet Earth, showing us the Africa part of the planet. and you can see a lot of interactions, a lot of happenings around the planet. So there's a red layer around the planet, and that's the atmosphere. Now, I hope you all know that this is basic knowledge, that we live on Earth, not in Earth. So we live on the planet, on the Earth. And so the atmosphere, when you look up and you see all the clouds and all that, that's the atmosphere. That's like the lower portion of the atmosphere. So this envelope, this red, this part of it is green. If you look to the side that says natural, sorry, you see that we are surrounded by a blue layer, then there's a red layer and all that. So the planet this planet Earth we are living on, it is kept warm enough for it to be able to, to be habitable to life. Now, this is how the interaction happens. The Earth is part of the solar system, and this our solar system is powered by the sun. Now you can see this natural here on the, I don't know how it appears at the end, on the left side of the screen for me, where we have natural, that's the sun shining. And the sun is shining, and the rays from the sun is coming towards the Earth. Now there's a layer, the atmosphere around the Earth. The heat from the sun is so much that it could literally fry the Earth. If we are exposed to the direct ray of the sun, we will be fried, we will be burnt, roasted completely. And so for that not to happen, and also if we are not exposed to the heat or some of the heat coming from the sun, the planet will be too cold for us to inhabit. So there's a layer around the Earth, that's the atmosphere. And in this atmosphere, we have gases that are called greenhouse gases. You may have heard of that too. So an example, some of the greenhouse gases are CO2, CH4. CH4 is methane, CO2 is carbon dioxide, and there's N2O, nitrous oxide, there's water vapor, and there are other greenhouse gases. Now, these gases are naturally occurring. Again, we are still on the side of the natural. They are naturally occurring around the planet in the atmosphere, and their work is to trap the heat that comes from the sun. Now, they form a layer that helps to trap the heat that comes from the sun, and also helps to repel some of the heat that comes from the sun. Remember, I said that if we are exposed directly to the rays coming from the sun, it is going to fry us. So what this layer does is it repels some of the heat, working with the ozone layer too. It repels some of the heat, and it traps just enough for life to be possible, for us to be able to inhabit the Earth. That's plants and animals. So that's what these greenhouse gases do naturally. So they occur in the atmosphere in adequate quantities to trap the amount of heat that is needed for life on Earth. Now let's go to the other parts of the image that has the sun, that is called human enhanced. Now, because of our activities on the planet, because of civilization, urbanization, development, we burn fossil fuel, because of all our interactions, the anthropogenic activities of man. Now, we emit a lot of these greenhouse gases through our operations. Now, remember I mentioned that we have naturally occurring quantities of CO2 and CH4. Now, come to the other side of human induced. You can see that the blue layer that is immediately surrounding the planet is very reduced, and the red layer is increased. So now because of our activities, we emit a lot of this CO2, this methane, that's CH4, nitrous oxide, water vapor, and all other greenhouse gases. So you can see higher, you can see higher greenhouse gas concentration. So because now we have a whole increased concentration of greenhouse gases now surrounding in the atmosphere surrounding the Earth. Now, these greenhouse gases now trap too much heat than we need on the planet. Don't forget that the primary job of these greenhouse gases is to trap just enough heat for life to, for plants and animals to inhabit the planet. But now, because we have released so much concentration of it into the atmosphere, we now have too much of the greenhouse gas, and their work is to trap it. So they don't know, they don't understand, they just continue to trap it because their concentration has increased. So because of that concentration of greenhouse gases that is increased in the atmosphere, less heat escapes because they are trapping more heat. And now the Earth now gets warmer because the greenhouse gases have trapped more heat. And that is where the concept of global warming comes from. Are we together? Please let me know in the chat room if you got the explanation I just made? I need somebody to confirm. Okay, great. Chima Okeke is following. Great. So that is how the concept of global warming comes about. So because of that global warming, then we now begin to have variations in weather patterns, in climatic patterns, in rainfall, sunshine, temperature, wind patterns, and it affects the water cycle. It affects all the natural systems of Earth, and this is what now causes the bigger phenomenon that we are all used to, climate change, and we begin to feel the impact in various ways. So I hope this graphical representation made you understand the whole concept of the greenhouse effect, global warming, and climate change more. So a summary again: the greenhouse effect is the process whereby these greenhouse gases trap enough heat to keep the planet warm for life to abound on Earth. Then because of human activities, we release higher concentrations, we release a lot of concentrations of these greenhouse gases into the air, into the atmosphere, and it makes them, when the concentration is increased in the atmosphere, they trap more heat than is needed for the planet. Then the planet gets warm, and it leads to the melting of ice caps, it leads to sea level rise, it leads to all other things about global warming, and all of those affects the climate, leading to climate change. So greenhouse effect is naturally occurring. It is a good thing. Global warming happens because we have released so much concentration of greenhouse gases into the air. They trap more heat, lead to global warming and climate change. So that is that about the first part of this presentation. Now go into the presentation I prepared for this class, and I hope this knowledge, this new knowledge as it may be for some persons, has helped you to understand this whole concept better, and that you'll be able to explain it better to people when you are having to talk to them about climate change. So you can take it from that foundation. And moving on now, let me present my other screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, guys?
Okay, yeah, we have it.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so this is the topic that my Oga, my Oga, Mr. Emmanuel, I wanted to hail him specially about, saying that personally for him, this is the topic he told me, or he gave me to talk about: environmental sustainability. And okay, that's my name there, and you see that luscious background, in the opening slide. It's that of a hill with luxuriant vegetation, and I'm sure it's something that is wallpaper worthy, that many of us, that some of us, please excuse me, would use as wallpapers. So I am going to be taking you on a journey now. Let's move on. Now let's go on a journey around the universe. Let's go on a journey around the universe. I hope you are prepared. And I want you to, my slides are very interactive, so please just enjoy. Don't this may not be the regular kind of presentation. Yeah, so hold on tightly to your self-esteem as we go on this journey. You can see this guy in space holding on. I told you we are going on a journey around the universe, so I'm taking you to space and out of the planet Earth. So hold on tightly to your self-esteem. You don't want to lose it in place with the revelations I'm about to present to you. And I'm asking a question here: what is your place in the universe, and how important and significant are you? I don't know, some persons on this conversation or on this call may not be new to this lecture. I'm guessing some persons may have had engagements with them before and they have heard this, but trust me, every time you hear this, every time you are part of this conversation of this lecture, it's going to always refer something new. So I'm asking you this question, the last question on this screen: how important and significant are you in the universe? So I'm looking forward to at least 10 responses in the chat room. Please, let's participate. How important and significant are you in the universe? So I'm waiting for messages in the chat room. Let me read. I'm significant because my activity can directly affect the universe. Shalom, thank you for always being among the first to respond. I see you. Shalom, we would see very soon. We would get up, we would know if this is true very soon. Yeah, I need more responses, please. How important and significant are you in the universe? Please let me know exactly how you feel, your honest feeling. You know, it could be inspiration, an inspirational feeling, it could be a philosophical feeling. Just let me know how you feel. How important and significant are you? Akintola Akinyemi says, I am significant because I am an earth steward meant to conserve biodiversity. Awesome, awesome. Chioma Okeke says, whatever I do affects my environment. I am therefore highly significant. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I want to read more responses, please. Okay, Peter O says, I am significant because the problem and possible solution to this lies in me. Okay. Thank you, Peter O. Yeah, I want to read more. Let me take one more before I move on. Okay. It's rushing in now. Sorry if I miss yours. Abdulmajid Adamoke, I guess from YouTube. Abdulmajid, we see you because I can make effort for positive impact. Philip says, very important because what I do goes a long way to either build or destroy it. Highly significant. This is from Abdurrahman Buka. Highly significant because I am part of the planet and ecosystem. I'm significant due to my little actions creating a small but meaningful change, which also grows to impact a larger society. That's from Arab. I'm very important and significant because I have influence on the ecosystems. Mayowa Latunji, I am significant as my action affect the air directly or indirectly. And the last one I'm going to read, I'm significant. Okay, Peter Chisholm Okere, I guess from YouTube, my actions or inactions can affect the ecosystem. My stakeholders are motherly earth. Great. I see you guys are fired up. You guys are really fired up. Yeah, really fired up. Wow. I'm liking the energy. Please, let's maintain this energy. Let's maintain these vibes till the end of the conversation. Now, again, hold on tightly to your self-esteem as we move on. And my question was, what is your place in the universe? I said I was going to take you on a journey around the universe. Many of your responses were limited to planets. Some of you were even mentioning planets. It is not bad. The planet is part of the universe. Now let's move on. Let's see. Okay. So now, we exist in the solar system with the sun and 9 planets. You remember the solar system now from basic science or integrated science or elementary science in primary school. We did it again in secondary school. Some people, by virtue of their course, did it again in their universities. So I have a little exercise there. Close your eyes and mention all the 9 planets. So I'm going to give us 30 seconds. Like really close your eyes wherever you are. Practice it. I know I cannot see you. Nobody's seeing you, but God is seeing you. So close your eyes and try to mention all the 9 planets in the order of distance from the sun. I know all of us have that. We have these mnemonics that we use to remember. So try and do that. If you can remember the 9 planets in order of their distance from the sun. Okay, I guess somebody or a few persons have tried that. So again, primary school stuff, but the memory sticks forever. And from the image, we can see the planets arranged in their according to the order of distance from the sun. And although there are conversations, if you can see on my screen, you see there's still Pluto here. I think there are a lot of publications now mention that Pluto is no longer a planet. So like we have 8 planets in our solar system. Pluto is a satellite and all that. Some persons still list it as 9. Some persons do the 8. And yeah, so if you agree Pluto is part of it or not, but yeah, you get the message. So we'll move on. Now, before I go into this, now you are somewhere in Nigeria right now. Remember, I started with asking where you are in Nigeria, and Emmanuel also asked us to rename to share our locations. And you know, you may be in a community, in a city, in a state, in this country that is so big. You know, feel like like I'm in Lagos. Lagos is a very big, well, not so big a state, but because of the connectedness of Lagos, you can refer to the whole of Lagos as Lagos City, and you can say it's so big. Ibadan is like the largest city in one of the largest cities in Africa. You know, you can be in a location now, it's very big, and you could be feeling lost. You could be feeling proud that, oh, I stay in the biggest state in Nigeria, I stay in the biggest community, the biggest town in this state and all that. Yeah, we are in Nigeria. Nigeria is a big country. The population of Nigeria, for example, you know, envelopes that of all the other West African countries. Our landmass is so big. You're in Africa. Africa is a big continent and all that. And then all of us are in a planet called planet Earth. So still on the planet thing, we have, I still have Pluto listed there. So you see that our planet is very big. Remember, we are going on a journey through the universe. You see, our planet is so big as compared to some of the other planets. Hope you can see my screen, guys. I need confirmation, please. Hope you can see my screen. Great, great. Thank you. Yeah, so our planet is so big compared to some of the other planets. And in the same vein, it's small beside other planets. I hope you can see this comparison. Now, the previous slide is showing our Earth bigger than Venus, Mars, Mercury, and Pluto. And here, now the Earth must be feeling like a big boy on this slide, a very big guy, like Big Brother and all that. But here the Earth is so small beside some of these other planets. And here the Earth, excuse me. So here, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so here the Earth must be feeling so small, like a baby brother. You can see that we have Jupiter, Saturn, all of these are way, way bigger than the planet Earth. Now, don't forget the question I asked you, how important are you in the universe? So moving on from that, you see the sun here. Now, remember that this is a solar system that is powered by the sun. The solar system, the sun powers all the 9 planets. And this is a picture of all the planets beside the sun that powers it. I hope we can all see this. I know many of us, oh, somebody is complaining they can't see the screen. Mayowa.
Your screen is up. Your screen is up, please.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you can see how the planets are so small beside the sun. So imagine we are exposed directly. Now see the planet Earth here. See the arrow pointing to the planet Earth. How many of these planets Earth? Let's do a quick calculation. How many of these Earths do you think we can remove from the sun? Just a rough estimate from your head. How many of these Earths do you think we can remove from the sun? Comments, quickly, a quick one. Nobody's talking to me. Okay, let me see in the chat room. Over a zillion, a million, 10,000. Okay, great. So we have the idea that it's going to be so many Earths that we are going to remove from the sun. So imagine we are exposed directly to the heat that comes from this sun. So when I told you earlier that if we are exposed to it directly, we are going to be fried. Now, this will help you put things in perspective. And, you know, all these other planets that are closer to the sun, even the ones that are bigger, some of them that are closer to the sun, we cannot even access these planets because of the heat they are experiencing, because of the heat coming to them from the sun. So imagine we don't have that layer of greenhouse gases around our planet working to help us manage or balance out this heat coming from the sun. So somebody says, honestly, I can't estimate. So let's move on. Now, before I go back to the whole planet thing, so remember I asked the question earlier again that how important do you think you are in this universe? Now we are even still on planetary level. We are still in our solar system. Now what I'm trying to do is to show you that you are not important. That is what I am trying to do to you. I'm trying to, if you feel bad about it, yes, good, feel bad, still feeling big on Earth, look at you. Your Earth is so small beside the sun in this solar system. We cannot even place you here. So I want you to see that you are really, really small in this planet. Now, let alone the universe. Now, if we ascend 30,000 feet into the sky, you know, if we are trying to locate a human being, this is how difficult or easy, if you may, it will be to locate a human being. So, and I don't think you can recognize any human from this position. And then the next one here, if we go further up another 70,000 feet after the 30,000 feet, if we go 100,000 feet up into the air, you know, we are, you know, now on top of the clouds. You know, this is how easy it will be to locate him. So you see that you can be ignored on this planet. You know, like you are infinitesimal, you are irrelevant on this planet. You know, if you die today, people will cry, people around you will cry. Some of them will eat akara, some of them will, depending on how old you are, some of them would kill cow. In short, some persons will even kill cow whether you are old or not, and they will move on. The planet will move on. So you are so small on this planet, but hold on. Again, in the beginning, I told you to hold on tightly to your self-esteem. We are moving on. Now let's come back to our planetary images. I'm going to take you a couple of slides back. So you see again here, we have the sun. We have the sun, and it is very big, and you know, you cannot even imagine the number of Earths you can take away from this sun. Now, do you know that the sun is a star? The sun is actually a star up there in this solar system, and there are many other stars in the universe. There are many other stars in the universe, and that takes us back here. If you can see my screen, you see that the sun that was looking so big, you know, the sun that was looking so big, you can see the sun here now. The sun is very small. You can see other stars in the universe. There's Sirius, there's Pollux, there's Arcturus. Now, these are stars that are bigger than the sun. These are stars that when they shine, the sun will be swallowed, the sun will be engulfed. Now, see the sun as compared to some other stars in other systems. Remember, you are in the solar system. Now, there are other systems in the universe. And here, you can see that Earth is no longer visible. You cannot even see Earth again here. And, you know, this is all part of existence. And you are somewhere on planet Earth feeling important, feeling like whatever you do. I see your message, Shalom. Whatever you do, you know, affects everything. Great. So Shalom mentioned that the activities are still important. Now, your activities on Earth, will it affect this universe? Will it affect the sun? But don't worry, Shalom. We are going to the same place. Don't worry. I'm just putting things in perspective. Now, in this previous image, you see that Arcturus is the biggest one. Is the biggest star here. The sun is looking very small. We can no longer see the Earth here. But here we even have stars that are bigger than that Arcturus you saw just now. Now here we can no longer talk about planet Earth here. Our sun is no longer visible here. According to this image, it says the sun is just 1 pixel, and that 1 pixel is like a dot in this image. Now, all the Arcturus that was looking very big in the previous image, you see how it is small compared to other stars that power other systems around the universe. You see Rigel, you see all of this, and you know, we can no longer find our sun here. We can no longer find our Earth, and definitely we can no longer find you. So again, you are not even up to a dot in space. You are not even up to a dot in the universe. But let's move on. Now, this is just me playing around. You know, this is popular stuff on WhatsApp now, on social media. They play because you must be feeling very important. You must be feeling very proud. You must be feeling, you know, like you're the biggest person on Earth. You must be feeling so like you can do so much that can affect a lot of people. Now, this is putting things in perspective for you again. I hope you can see it. Let me zoom out. You are just one person out of 7 billion people. This is even outdated. There are 8 billion people now, over 8 billion people on the planet, and you are just on one planet. All of us 8 billion people are on one planet out of 8 planets. Remember, this is subtracting Pluto. In our solar system, out of 100 billion star systems, and you know, in one universe, out of 100 billion galaxies, and this ends with, you are enormously, the word enormously in quotes, insignificant. You are enormously insignificant. That is where I've been taking you to all along, that whatever we are doing on our planet Earth, and we think that we are doing, you know, somebody is drawing lines on my screen. Abdul. So whatever we are doing to our planet Earth, and you know, we are all about our Earth is changing, climate is changing, this and that. We are the ones causing the problems for ourselves, and we must be thinking that, oh, we are the best things that have happened in this universe. We are the best of the best. We are the prettiest, we are the most beautiful, we are the most important. No, we are not. We are just a tiny speck of dust in the whole existence of things, in the whole existence, in the whole space. And sometimes when I think about this, how vast the universe is, for those of us that are religious or that believe in God, I just think about how big God is. If God could create all of this vastness that our minds cannot even comprehend, how big God is. And out of this, for me as a Christian, I've learned that, or I know that God loves me. So if out of all this vastness that God created, God still has, I still feel a connection to God. So it's a mystery that, sometimes my mind cannot fathom. And I also think, now I believe there are aliens. I know some of you may laugh at this. We have seen a lot of movies. We have seen a lot of documentaries and stuff that shows there are aliens. But somehow when I look at all of this existence, I just think that could we really be the only ones inhabiting, all of this space that, we have not even explored 1/billions of all of these spaces. So I believe somehow that there may be other creations, there may be other existence somewhere that we cannot even see, that our cameras, our telescope, and all the gadgets we have, our satellites cannot even see, cannot even catch. But yeah, let's move on beyond all of this. So let's go on from here. Now, I was saying earlier that despite how vast this whole existence, this whole universe is, you're on this planet for a purpose amidst this vastness that we cannot seem to wrap our minds around. And you were made a steward here, not a destroyer. As humans, we have the combined purpose of nurturing this planet we are on. For if we don't and we hurt it and we continue, we are doing that already and we continue to hurt it instead, we are simply rendering ourselves less significant in space and time around the universe. So for a planet that is less than a dot in the universe, where we are inhabiting and where we have an opportunity to feel, where we have an opportunity to love, where we have an opportunity to live, where we have an opportunity to connect, and we are still doing things that will destroy this planet and further render us insignificant, further make us enormously insignificant. That is, for me, that is so much evil. And I believe it is us refusing to understand that we have something that other parts of the universe do not have. I mentioned earlier that there are aliens. We don't know there may be aliens. We don't know their mode of interaction. We don't know how they do their things and all that. But the fact that, see, I successfully killed your pride. The fact that we are able, even despite all this hugeness, we are able to connect, we are able to feel, we are able to see ourselves, we are able to dwell together. We are able, we are able to even know that there's this vastness that exists where we are virtually non-existent. That fact that we are able to feel all of those should make us even hold what we have more important. Should make us guard it jealously, like Christians will say. But we do otherwise. We are hurting the planet where we exist instead of us to be stewards for the planet. So need to, play and just keep playing. But here I'm telling you to stop playing, because really, amidst all of this vastness, amidst all of this hugeness, you are one person from 8 billion people from 8 planets. I already shared all of this with you. But out of all this vastness, look at the lower portion of my screen here, where I have the whites to the left on my own screen, the lower portion of my left screen. Out of 100 billion galaxies existing in 100 billion solar systems, out of 8 billion people, out of 8 billion people on this planet Earth, with 7 continents and different races, different colors, there's now everything is so much. But out of all this vastness, you have your own unique genetic makeup. So whether you believe you were created by God, whether you believe you happened, Big Bang Theory, you just started to exist, human life just started to exist, anyhow this happened, you have your own unique genetic makeup. You are different from every other person. Your thumbprint is yours alone. Even twins do not have the same thumbprint. You can, and so you are unique. You have a unique identity in all of this vastness. The universe recognizes that you are an identity. The universe recognizes that you are unique, that you exist. And beyond all of those existence, you are able to create art, for crying out loud. You are able to feel, you are able to recreate, you are able to write a song, you are able to mime to a song, you are able to sing a song, you are able to eat. You know, you are able to love, you are able to love animals, you are able to love plants, you are able to love humans. You are dependent upon by others that love you. You are able to love others. And, you know, I'm bringing back your self-pride now that you are enormously significant, actually. You are very significant. So as much as you have seen that it appeared that in this whole vastness, we are worthless. You are very, very worthy, because the universe actually recognizes that you exist. And this is something that I think all of us should be grateful for as humans. The fact that we are able to exist in this space, in this environment, in this planet that has been given to us to cater for. The fact that we are able to love, the fact that we are able to harness resources from that environment and use it to keep ourselves is something we should be grateful for. Keep your esteem and significance intact, because in all of this vastness, you are very unique in your own ways. You are much more enormously significant. When you care for this planet, you've been purposefully placed on. So the fact that you exist, the fact that you have a unique identity amidst all of these billions of galaxies, means that you are significant. But you are even much more significant when you are caring for the planet, this planet that we are on, because you are helping the possibility of other people to exist on this planet. You are helping the possibility of other people to have their own unique identities on this planet. I hope we are still following. Yeah, you know, sometimes somebody says, Usman says, make una humble ourselves. So I be make we humble ourselves. So yes, you know, anytime I go through this, I remember that I need to be very humble, because I can just disappear and nothing will change really. But again, I have the perspective that because I'm able to help to preserve this planet, then I am even much more significant. And this is the whole essence of this accelerator program. To get people that will take action for the planet, to get people that will help to increase, that will help to maintain the significance of our planet, that will help to make it possible for other people to be able to inhabit this planet. Because the way we are doing things, the way we are going, the way we are, you know, interacting with the planet, we are going to a place where the planet is getting difficult for us even to inhabit, let alone generations that will come after us. Now, taking me back to my topic, environmental sustainability. If you have heard about sustainability, if you know about sustainability, it means sustainability. And the definition is the ability of this generation to harness resources and use resources without compromising the ability of the future generations to also have access to these resources. So the cocoa is sustainability. Now, we want to be able to live in this planet and meet our needs without harming the planet, because when we harm the planet, we are making it impossible for other people that will come after us to inhabit this planet. I hope we are still together. So that is the essence of all these environmental programs, initiatives, and CAAP that you are a part of today. We want people who will understand that we have this grace to exist, and we have an opportunity, we have this grace to exist and also let other people exist. And we want to do everything we can. We want to call attention to all the ills, all the negatives, all the evils that are going on around the world today, to threaten that our significance, to threaten that our existence, to threaten that our identity in this space and time. Now, moving on, I'm done with, now you can come back home. I'm done with taking you around the universe. I hope it was a nice journey. Now let me hear from you. Let me stop sharing my screen for a while so I can read the chat well. So let me hear from you. How was that journey around the universe? Did you learn something new? Were you surprised at how big the universe is? Did you imagine, as we were looking through the pictures, did you imagine things? Did anybody also think that with all of this, it's also possible that we have aliens? I don't know if anybody agrees with me. You don't have to agree with me. That's just my own thought. So how was all of that for you? Marvelous, mind-blowing. You almost made me feel useless. Hey, you are useful, Chima. You are very useful. You are unique. You are useful. It was awesome. If we can get some comments from YouTube, from our admins, it was humbling. Yes, it humbles every time. It really humbles every time. Our admins, if we can get comments from YouTube. It was a nice journey of self-esteem killing. Oga. Mohammed Ahmad from YouTube, I guess. Well, the aim in the beginning was to kill your self-esteem, but I hope I successfully brought back your esteem and even made you feel more important than you ever have. The fact that in all of this, you are still unique. So, and that the universe recognizes your uniqueness. Perfect of understanding of the universe. Yeah, thank you very much. There must be aliens. Those planets cannot be empty. Well, Daniel, we are yet to prove that, but really, I'm looking forward to meeting aliens in my lifetime. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to that. No, not a colonization kind of thing, but on good terms. Not that aliens will come and want to eat all of us like the same movies, or kill all of us and take our energy and all that. The statistics were scary, but it feels good. I am significant at the end. It was an interesting journey from Evangeline. For me, apart from the solar system, everything was new. I'm happy that you learned something new. Adefioye Michael, awesomely great. Echo Ferrad, I see you. I feel like studying space science right now. It's interesting, trust me. Please, where is the attention? Okay, that's not for me. Okay. Thank you all for your comments. So let's quickly move on. Let me just round up the presentation now. So I'll go back to sharing my screen. Here's the screen. Okay, here we go. So now I have a quick debate for you guys. I want us to interact, and I needed to really use the chat room. So I have I trust you cannot see my screen, and I have 3 images here. I have the land, the air, and the water. Now these are parts of the planet. These are all the major parts of the planet. So now, which of these 3 do you think is more important? Land, air, or water? 2 questions here, so you can answer both. Which is more important, and which should be more cared for? Which of these 3 do you think is more important, the land, the air, or the water? And which of these should we care for, should be more cared for? Water, hard to say. All are important. They are all important. All are important. The land, water is more important. Well, it is interwoven, but I go for the land, air, and the water. Air is more important. Land, air, all is important, but water require more concern. The 3 are very important for human survival. I hope the YouTube attendees are also responding to this. Water. All of them are parts of the planet and are interconnected. None is less important. All must be cared for. They are all important, but water make others alive. Yeah, I'm enjoying your comments, please. Okay, the comments have stopped coming in. Okay, if you care for water only, then airborne disease issues will kill you. If you go with air, then water diseases, water diseases will finish you. Daniel Agbo, you don't have to be so mean in your comments. Okay, thank you for that, though. Water is important, but they all need to be cared for. Land is most important. Land, they are all interconnected, so I think they should be given utmost care. That's from somebody on YouTube. Air is more important. The land should be more cared for, as activities on land can affect others. All are important. Water is life, and plants can be planted without the soil. That's floating plants. Water surrounds us 75% or 80% of our planet. Water is 71%, so you're close. 71% of the planet is covered by water. Okay, great comments. Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful comments. Yeah, I love this argument a lot, and really we can go on and talk about how we feel one is more important than the other, and then how the fact that some persons will say, activities in one would affect the other. Okay, you 2 people, the air, because air is contained in all the remaining 2. That's from Abdul Majid Adamu. Godia says water is more important. Zaini Abdullah says land should be more cared for. Now, let me take you back to your elementary science again. The three states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. At least those are the ones we have always known. Although now they say there's a state that is called plasma. Maybe it's semi-liquid or something, but let's stick with solid, liquid, and gas. So land, solid, air, gas, water, liquid. So and you know that the three states of matter are interchangeable. Something can change from solid to liquid to gas and all that. So really, all of these are not more important than any other. There's no straight answer to this. If I tell you that land is more important, I'm lying. If anybody tells you that air is more important, they are lying. If anybody tells you that water is more important, they are lying, because all of these work together. If you don't take care of water, it will affect land. It will affect the air. Maybe it's water that evaporates to become rain in the cloud. Okay, if water is fine, if the air is not doing well, if it's polluted, it will fall back as rain that is polluted. That's why we have acid rain. Land, spillage from water, polluted water can affect land, polluted land can affect water, and all of that. So they are interconnected, and you can really not say one is more important than the other. But then, let me bring you to where I actually wanted to lead you to. Now, when many of us were thinking of responding to these questions, to this question, which is more important, we should be more careful. Most of us, I am very sure that, okay, maybe I should not say most, many of us were thinking about ourselves only. And when I say ourselves, I mean we're thinking about ourselves as men, as humans. Now you are trying to estimate the importance of land. Okay, which one can I survive without? Which one is primary to my survival or existence? Can I go without water? You are thinking about man mostly. You are thinking about man. You are thinking about you. You are thinking about other humans. You are thinking about the things you have to do. Excuse me. Thinking about the things you have to do as a human. Now, many of us did not think about the other parts of the planet. We are not the only components on this planet. There's land, there are animals, there are other animals, and there are plants. Remember that humans are animals. We say we are higher animals, but we are classified as animals. Although there are some classifications coming out now that humans should be separated from animals. We should be categorized separately, but we have the same kind of biological system. So we were thinking about only man, how all of these are important, or which is more important for man to survive. We did not think about other parts of the planet. We did not think about plants. We did not think about other animals. We forget that these plants and animals are our primary reasons for they are the primary sources of our existence. They are what we feed on. They are what we interact with to exist. I mean, you eat, whatever you eat is made from, is gotten from either water, it's gotten from the air, or animals that dwell in the air. It's gotten from land. You need the air for pollination of plants, for pollinators to move around. You need animals in the water and land and all that. So we forget, we do not think, when we are answering these questions like this, we do not think about other members of the planet. And that is part of where the problem lies. The fact that we think we are men, we are the higher animals, we are the thinking ones, and we can dominate the planet. And forgetting that without us, this planet can exist. Without us, plants and animals can still exist. But without plants and animals, we cannot exist. So when you are thinking of environmental sustainability, the fullness of it, it has to include plants and animals also in the environment. So how are we using the planet? How is our usage of the planet affecting other components of the planet, as the plants and animals, which are our primary sources of existence? How are we interacting with land? How are we interacting with water? How are we exploring and extracting from land, water, and air in ways that affect plants and animals? I hope we are still following. Confirmation, I hope we are still following. Okay, great. So as much as we are stewards of the environment, I'm just reading the slide. As much as we are stewards of the environment, we are just simple members of the ecosystem really on this planet. We are just members of the ecosystem. There's an image in the background that will project it to you better. So when we are making plans and carrying out activities for our benefit, we must keep in mind every other element that makes up the planet as it helps us to stay alive as humans, as men. Whether you believe it or not, the planet does not need humans to survive. Humans need the planet to survive. So think about it like, if you have never thought about this, if you have never reasoned this, if you have never heard this, the planet can survive without humans. Humans cannot survive without the planet. So the planet does not need us to be around for plants and animals to exist. But we need plants and animals and other components of the planet to exist. But now what are we doing? We are destroying this planet. We are destroying this planet that is our source. We are destroying this planet that provides everything that keeps us. Now, there's this analogy I always do. Think, everybody look around you. Look at yourself. Let's start with you. From your head to your toe. Whatever you're putting on a shirt, you're putting on a trouser, you're putting on a singlet inside, you're putting on a shoe wherever you are. Maybe you're wearing a cap or not. Everything you are putting on were made from materials that were extracted from the environment. Yes or yes? I need responses in the chat room. Everything you are putting on were made from materials that were extracted from the environment. Yes or yes? Yes, thank you, Shalom. Now, let's go beyond you. Look around you. All the things you can see around you, if you are in a room, if you are outside, everything you can see around you were made from materials that were extracted from the environment. Yes or yes? Thank you. Yes. Now, let's even take away all of these things that you can see, all of the things you are putting on. Now, think of yourself. You know yourself, your naked self, from your head to your toe, from the hair on your head to the sole of your feet. You have been sustained, you have been able to grow from when you were a baby till this point because of food, nutrition that was gotten from the environment. Yes or yes? And I dare to say that you were given birth to because of resources that were extracted from the environment. Yes or yes? There's no way you can be alive, there's no way you can be born without your parents having to have interacted with the environment. Yes, a copulation between man and woman. What makes it possible for them to copulate? Everything is gotten from the environment. So now, that is for you. Now let's take it to Nigeria. We have 200 million plus people in Nigeria. Now think of how this same environment presently is catering for 200 million Nigerians. You know, this same environment is providing for 200 million Nigerians since the day they have been born till now. Now, let's say our average age on this call, let's say our average age is 20 years. Let's say our average age is 20 years. Now, in Nigeria, for example, let's say we average 20 years. 20 times 200 million people, that's the number of years that, you know, we have existed. And in all of that time, from when we were born till now, this same environment has provided everything we have eaten, everything we have put on, everything we have worked with, everything we have transported with. There's nothing we can do without interacting with the environment, without resources getting from the environment. And yet we are refusing to understand and recognize that fact that this environment is our source, is our roots, and we are interacting negatively because of greed, because of profit with this same environment. And the way we are interacting, we are making it impossible for generations that will come after us to be able to also get from this environment. And that is the whole concept of, you know, that is why we have this whole concept of environmental sustainability. We want people that are conscious of the benefits that they, you know, get from the environment, that are conscious of how the environment is our source and how we need to respect it. And when I say respect, I don't mean you should worship the environment. Respect is in how you interact with the environment sustainably, how we are not driven by greed, how we are not driven by profit, how we are not contented with development, in quotes, development that harms our environment, how we don't need to see profit as a primary focus, but how we need to understand that. See, we are all on this planet to live, and we have to give other people room to live. So now I stopped at 200 million Nigerians. Again, think louder, think more largely. Africa has over 1 billion people, the same environment. Around the world, 8 billion people, the same environment that we are missing up. Okay, so moving on, this is the image I had in the background. Now, this shows man you can see the two instances. One is called ego and one is called eco. So the fact that maybe because we call ourselves as humans higher animals, we feel like, you know, we are on top of the food chain and you know, we dominate. We can do anything we want with all the other members of the planet. You see this image with the ego, the man in red is standing on top and he feels like he's in charge. He just takes, this is a man that will take anything for profit. This is a man that will just do anything without, you know, refusing to understand that he's just a member of the whole system. And you can see that the other part here, we have eco. Now, this is a man that recognizes that he is part of the mix and is respectfully and sustainably interacting with that mix to continue to maintain the balance. And here I have that man, let go of your ego and grow with the eco. Let go of your ego and grow with the eco. Eco here means green, eco here means ecosystem, you know, all of the environmental sustainability, you know, ecological consciousness. So let's go of your ego. We have to let go of our ego as men, and we have to go as ego. And how do we get to the point of letting go of our ego? Many of us do not even recognize, do not even know that we are living, you know, with ego in our interaction with the planet. And that is why we need accelerators. We need people like you. We need everybody, as many as possible persons, to get on the train to be able to educate others, you know, to be able to educate others and let them know that, hey guys, you know, we are supposed to interact with the ecosystem, not lord over it. And so your work here in CAAP is very important. Please pardon the background. This is very important and instrumental to, you know, promoting environmental sustainability worldwide and to, you know, leading climate action for the benefit of the planet. And because of time, I was going to take us through this cradle to grave thing. It's supposed to be a daily review of how you as a human interact with the environment and how you can, you know, take your actions in a more sustainable pattern. This would start from when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, and then how that affects, you know, how you brush your teeth. How do you brush your teeth? Do you do it sustainably? Do you leave the tap running, or do you have water in a cup? And when you have, what do you do next after you brush your teeth? Maybe you're having your bath. Do you stay, you know, long hours in the shower? Do you bathe briefly? Do you manage resources? So we are supposed to do this from when you wake up in the morning to when you sleep at night, and that's the cradle to grave. Cradle is waking up in the morning, grave is sleeping at night. But I think I am out of time, and then I would recommend this. You get this slide so everybody can go. Now, this footprint calculator, when you go to that website, it will ask you questions about how you live your life daily, what you do, what you eat, how you transport, and all that. And it's going to show you the number of earth that will be needed if every humans on the planet also looked like you. Remember, we have just one earth, but if everybody eats the way you eat, transports the way you transport, it will show you the number of earth that will be needed to sustain. But we have only one. So the first time I did this, I had 4 point something earths. So that means if everybody lived like me, we would need 4 earths to be able to meet our needs, not even talking of the needs of the future generation. For some persons, they had up to 8. For some persons, they had more than 10. So imagine us needing 10 earths to survive because of the way we live, while we actually in reality have only one. So you can go on that link and calculate your ecological footprint and see how you can reduce, how you can be more sustainable in your interaction. And this is something you can also teach others with. Yeah, thank you. That's all, and I'll be happy to take any questions now. Thank you very much. Mr. Emmanuel, back to you. I hope it was valuable for your time, our participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to say something. You really blew our mind this morning and challenged us. It's a call to action to each and everyone for us to protect the ecosystem. And I believe it's been valuable for our time indeed. We are going to be attending to questions in line to the masterclass session. Please, if you have a question, you can raise your hand while they grant you permission to ask your question, or you can use the comment section on YouTube or on Zoom to ask your question. For those who want to ask their question on Zoom, you can just raise your hand and ask your question briefly. While those who wants to send a text, you can send it using the comment section. All right, I can see a hand up. Gila from Kaduna State, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Please, can you allow Gila to...
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and it's a privilege. Thank you so much. Anyway, I want to ask the last speaker, do you think human activity is actually the true problem of the climate and the climate change? What am I trying to say? What I'm saying is that there's no way you create a solution, which is part of the problem. There's no way you create a solution that another problem will not arise. You understand? So do you really think human activity are the only cause of, or the only reason we're having issues on climate change?
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful question. And sorry, I'm going to have to ask you a question back. Now, I made an illustration, or I explained the whole greenhouse effect, global warming, climate change thing earlier. So what other reasons do you, now I'm trying the questions. My answer is yes. Yes, so climate change, of course, can also be spurred naturally by natural happenings like volcanic eruptions. That's also a major cause of climate change. When mountains, when the igneous rocks, when they emit lava and all that, so it's usually very polluting and it's usually very bad. But where's the image I shared earlier again? Let me share my screen again. So I'm throwing it back to you. What do you think, looking at this image? Now you see that the natural side of this image, there's a working system. There's a naturally working system, but because in the other side that is human enhanced, the reason we have more greenhouse gases in this space. These greenhouse gases come from transportation, comes from consumerism, basically transportation, energy. We have to burn fossil, we have to burn petroleum, we have to petrol is what you use to fossil, petrol, kerosene, and the likes. Diesel, that's what you use to power your cars. Your refrigerator is powered by electricity. Electricity is powered also by a lot of fossil. The refrigerator even releases greenhouse gases through chlorofluorocarbons and all of this. So all of these extra greenhouse gases that we that gets in the air there and envelopes more heat for the planet, causes global warming and causes change in climate. They are a result of human activities. And this is not just mere speculation. Over years, since the 1970s, when climate change has started becoming topical, there have been researches since as early as the 1920s that confirmed that climate change is happening rapidly because of human activities. And those activities are primarily the burning of our daily interactions, our activities that release all of these gases into the air. So it has been proven by science. There are numbers, there are results, there are numbers that show that yes, it is humans that are driving the change in climate in the speed at which it is happening. And now you talk that in the quest to create a solution, you can also experience another crisis experience. Now that is where the whole concept of sustainability comes in. Now, many of the solutions we think we are creating, I don't want to take us into another level of conversation, but I think I have answered your first question, which is yes, humans are the primary drivers. And in the quest to create more solutions, if we are creating solutions that are still harming, then it means we have not really found the most sustainable solutions. Of course, sometimes we have to settle for solutions that are less harmful. Sometimes we have to settle for the less harmful ones. But again, sustainability is not an end in itself. It is a means. All of this thing we are doing is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end, and the end is, keeping the planet preserved as much as we can. So all of these things we are doing, that we're asking you to do for the planet and all that, is a means towards an end that we may not even be alive to see. In short, the end does not end until probably Jesus comes, for those of us that are Christian, or until if we refuse to change, until maybe there's a sort of apocalypse. I'm just saying. So I hope I have been able to answer your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayokun. Briefly, Akitola, you can ask your question just in 30 seconds, and also followed by Hope, you can ask your question. For those who are joining via YouTube, please drop your question via the comment section. we pick it up from there and share with the facilitator. Thank you. All right, over to you, Akitola.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. And thank you, facilitator. You have done wonderfully well. My question is this. As a environmentalist and a climate scientist as I am, oftentimes I am discouraged, taking action. Why is because I can categorically say that the bulk of the problem we are having is seemingly unsolvable by, the actions of very minute people that are environmentally conscious. What I'm saying is that we have Nigeria among the 7 top-ranking gas-flaring countries around the world. So in my opinion, I feel if we can work more on policy, that we actually make these nations to find an alternative and eco-friendly way of getting rid of gas flaring, it will go a far long way. Just imagine the number of gases that is being flared in Nigeria alone. Look at the number of barrels of oil that we extract daily. So just look at that across the globe. So in my opinion, I feel it is just going to do much more than me planting 1,000 trees and somebody felt the tree is disturbing his fence or something and they still remove it. Or some, see, I'm very sorry to say this. There was a day, a time I was anchoring.
Sorry, Akitola, I have to cut you. I understand your feeling. It's very important for us to adopt sustainable living practices across organizations, individuals, but it's very important we have to keep to time as well. We believe that you share the policy recommendation with us, and definitely we all have to see to achieving that across different, not just leaving it to the government alone. And at this point, I believe I can ascertain that your submission is accepted. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, let me speak briefly to what he said. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, it's a very valid concern. And remember, when I was answering the first question, I said something. I don't know if anybody took note. I don't want to take the conversation to a different level. Now, that is one of the levels I was talking about. Yes, you are very right. You are very correct that the principal polluters, the people that cause most of these problems, are oil companies and bigger nations and all that. Now, you came to the understanding of this because you got involved in the whole environment space, in the whole environmental sustainability agenda. And now we can share common voice. We can talk about that because we understand it. Now, how do we now get these big countries, these principal polluters to do better? If there are no people that will actually call them to order, if it's just you and I that are calling them to order, we will keep shouting from today till tomorrow and, they will most likely not hear us. And that is why we need to have conversations like this. We need to be in forums like this where we encourage ourselves and we continue to educate one another so that we can continue to build a chain of people who now understand and who we now demand for better. When our voices, when we are many, when we are louder, then we have an opportunity of being listened to. Again, yes, we should not also just you did not ridicule, but that's what that came to mind. We should not underestimate the place of how our daily actions also help to reduce all of that. Because when we are doing our bit as individuals in the community and all that, to do all that we can do to promote it, the consciousness, the culture gets ingrained in us. It becomes our culture, it becomes our daily living. Now, imagine me, for example, my children will definitely be sustainable people with environmental consciousness. And myself, for example, I'm, environmentally conscious. I have friends that all my friends know that I am this, and I try to preach them and all that. So if we continue to have conversations like this, we get to educate people who can also get in positions, if we don't want to be politicians, who can get in positions where they can drive this action. Because when you are power, in quotes, you are able to do more than those of us that are just voicing from behind. And if our children's children, our cousins and everybody, if they also have this understanding, they will grow with the knowledge that we did not grow up with, that there's a planet that we need to cater for, and they will start interacting differently. And with all of those consciousness, we are building a larger army that can raise voices to, call for order around the planet. I hope that's also shed more light. So please don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. I share your pain. we all share the pain.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's something we all have to do, a call to action to all. We have some questions I'll quickly read from YouTube. The very first question is Masterpiece. Some persons are downplaying the issues of plastic and indiscriminate dumping of refuse as a cause of climate change and issues. What can you say about this? And there's another question from Mohamed Bakari. My question is that creating more sustainable ways of living requires effort and, most importantly, funds. Most of the African countries are poor. What is the world doing to address this gap? We have a question from Mujid Olo Kokun. So sorry if I mispronounced your name. My question is that can the emergence of AI be used in contributing to sustainable development? Oh, okay.
Yeah, please let me take those three. Let me take those three before. Sorry, I don't do well with piling questions up before I respond. So the first one, waste, something about waste management and if it contributes. Yes, it contributes. Waste, we generate the waste. Before it even becomes waste, the process of the creation of that item, how you used it, then when you dispose it and it becomes waste, how do you burn it? If you burn it, the emissions from that contribute to the whole global warming and climate change. Sometimes when you don't even burn it and you just leave it to decay, the emissions from it too. So we can't remove waste from it. Waste contributes. In Nigeria, there was in 2021, our nationally, a document from Nigeria Ministry of Environment says that our waste sector contributes to about 9% of our greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to global warming and all that. So yes, waste is part of the problem. Waste management, irresponsible or unsustainable waste management contributes to all of these issues. And the second question was about poor people, solutions needing funds and all that. And in Africa, we are poor and all that. And what is the world doing about this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say, I'll begin from the end there. When you say, what is the world doing about this? Is Africa not part of that world? And why are we putting ourselves, why are we in that position where we feel that we need the help of the world? We are always in that position where we want aid, we want this and that because we are poor. How did we become poor? Okay, slavery, they colonized us, they did not let us develop and all that. All of us have gotten independence and we need to start coming out of that shadow of independence, of that shadow of colonialism and always depending on aid. I mean, Africa should be part of the conversations. Africa should be part of the negotiations that are happening around the world. So we should not ask what is the world doing about that. What is Africa? Africa also contributes to emission, of course, very little as compared to many other countries, US, China and all that. But then we need to first of all stop seeing ourselves as just victims. We need to come on the table and develop the solutions together. So, but back to the part of being poor and all that. Yes, sustainability now is expensive because if you want to be more sustainable in your eating, in your in everything, basically, it's and that is because there are other options that are the existing options, are the norms, at what appears as the norm, even when they are hurting our planet. The existing options are less expensive, and that's why sustainability is expensive. But if we all of us continue to advance the understanding that sustainability should be the norm, and if sustainable solutions become the norm, then what we regard as expensive would be the norm, and that would be the way forward around the planet. So it's not as easy as I'm saying it, and I understand your question very, very well, much more than you even think I know. But again, because of time, Africa, we need to stop seeing ourselves as just victims, and we also need to act. Yes, in places where we need to talk about how it is the developed worlds that are contributing mostly to the problem and how we should hold them accountable. Yes, we should, but we should more focus. We should put more focus on solutions that are sustainable and be working in that part. Africa we can be the ones to design the solutions that will work, and that can be our negotiating item on the table. But we need to stop asking questions like, what is the world doing about it? So the next question is about, I think I've forgotten the last question.
The emergence of AI.
Yeah, AI, of course. Even AI is affected by all of these issues. AI, I know AI, there's a lot of digitech involved, and all of those are powered by energy, and energy relies mostly right now on fossil fuel, on coal. Of course, there's natural gas that we think is very clean, but of course, all of these have impact. So AI can definitely be a tool. I don't know how, those of you in the space. So that's why you need to have an understanding. This environmental sustainability space is a very vast one. Somebody gave an example of trees, planting trees earlier. You can be working on trees, you can be working on waste management, you can be working on water pollution, you can be working on any part, different parts. So it's now left for those in the AI field to understand. They are the ones that will probably understand better how their particular skill. I'm sure the AI field too is not just limited to one aspect, how your own skill can be employed, how it can make, whether it's to help to increase or to improve education about sustainability issues, whether it's to help to create solutions, that would work better or that would be the less harmful ones. So definitely every sector has a space, every sector has a stake in sustainability, even AI.
So I'll just say this: there is a module on artificial intelligence and climate innovations. You get to learn more about the role of artificial intelligence and other digital technology in solving global climate crises. Kindly look forward to that. I will spend so much time into this masterclass session, but I believe it's indeed been a value for our time. And,
I see a lot of hands still up.
Yes, we are going to attend to those hands, but it's going to be very, very brief. I'll just appreciate Hope, Agila, and Barak to ask your question in 30 seconds. 3 of you are going to ask your questions together, and so that facilitator can attend to it, because I definitely know you also have some other engagement for today. All right, Hope, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Please, in 30 seconds.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayokun, for sharing from your wealth of knowledge with us. My question is, can Nigeria be able to achieve Goal 13, climate action, before 2030? Then the second one, how has this climate change affect animals? My third question, how has this climate change affect our agriculture, our farms, and our oceans? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You've asked a question on behalf of the remaining 3 people now. All right, okay,
let me give, sorry, before the rest ask their question, let me just quickly respond to Hope. Hope, for your last 2 questions, I am not going to answer them because of time.
Okay.
And I'm going to direct it to Google. I'm going to tell you to read up on it yourself. You would see, we can talk about it here, but it's going to take time. For all your questions, animals, animals and what's the other thing you mentioned? The first question was about if we can achieve climate action by 2030. That question, whenever I'm asked that question, yeah, animals and agriculture, you can read up about that. If you don't want to stress too much, just use ChatGPT. I think all of us know that, and ask. It will give you a very structured and detailed response. For your first question, can Nigeria achieve climate action by 2030? When I get that question about that 2030 thing, my first reaction is usually, like I take a deep breath like that. So the important thing is 2030 is a landmark year because of the Sustainable Development Goals, this and that, and many, many things. But I think that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we are actually taking action, that we are encouraging and we are leading action. Whether the action would now be, whether we'll get to that sustainable point by 2030 or not, I don't think that's a big deal for me. The big deal is that we are honestly taking action and we are also inspiring other people to take action. So when we arrive at 2030, if we are there, good for us. If we are not there, we continue to take action. We create another timeline that would, we'll set objectives and work towards. So that's my response to that. But keep taking action. That's the most important thing, 2030 or beyond. Next question, please.
All right, Mr. Agila, you can unmute your mic and ask your question briefly while we have the last question from Barak. Agila, you can ask the question.
Thanks. I don't want to bother the speaker anymore. I think the girl actually has the most germane questions I wanted to ask, but it's okay. It's fine. She already asked the question.
Thank you, Agila. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have your question, Barak? Hello, Mbarak. Can we have your question? All right. I believe it's been a wonderful time indeed today for each and every one of us. The facilitator has indeed loaded us, and we keep getting this over and over for the next 4 weeks in the month of March. And I indeed promise you that it's going to be a transformative and life sustaining session, which you will keep remembering over and over. From this session, you get to know more about various aspects of climate actions, various aspects of renewable energy, carbon management, and various aspects of forest conservation and biodiversity. So definitely these are sessions that we have at modules which we have outlined for each and every one, but it's very important you also share the knowledge with others, people that are outside there. And there is a LinkedIn community that has been created. And before I quickly go to the information session, I would deeply appreciate our facilitator who has taken his time to facilitate today's session. Thank you, Mr. Mayo. It's indeed a mind-blowing one today, which we had with you. On behalf of the Leadership Council of SGS and Nigeria, really appreciate this insightful lecture you've given this morning. And we hope to connect with you. Please, before you go, I would like to seek your permission. And I know definitely our actors would like to connect with you to further engage with you and learn from you. We prefer they contact you via email or phone number. Which of these we prefer they contact you with? Mr. Abayoku, before you go, sir.
WhatsApp and email.
Okay, thank you for giving us that opportunity. So the program officer are going to share that with us on our platform. We get to connect with Mr. Mayakun further and learn further from him. So rather, please, the attendance and evaluation form has been shared. It's very important you fill the evaluation form, share your feedback, tell us more about other sessions. You're also aspiring to learn more. And the presentation slide for today is also going to be shared on the learning resources. The link is going to be attached to the email you are going to get before the end of today. The selection flyer that is also going to be shared with you, please. You can upload your picture there and you get to share it across your social media platforms. Regarding the interstate groupings, the program officers are going to share the list of 32 states that are represented in this program for this cohort. They are going to share the list with us. Please join only the states you belong to, or you know you are going to April, May, or in the month of April and the month of May. That's where you have to join. And if there are other information, the communication officer and other program manager will share that with us later during the course of the week. And I know we still have our mother on board in person of Professor Ngozodiaka. I am sure thank you for staying all through, man. I know we have some words from you before we end the call today. Hello, Prof. Do we have some words from you before or you are good to go, man? Okay, these informations will be communicated via email, the social media platform. Just like it's very important for you to join the LinkedIn community. You get to network and share knowledge, and you also get to see more information about various aspects of environmental sustainability, various aspects of climate action activities, adaptation and mitigation strategies. We look forward to have you in the next session, which is going to hold 10th of March, 2023. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
We are facing an existential crisis.
Unlike anything the world has ever seen.
We need to take action.
Everyone has to stand up.
The warning is not a new one.
Our world faces a triple planetary crisis of climate change, nature loss, and pollution.
For generations, humanity often has been destroying the natural world. In the name of progress, we have polluted the Earth's oceans, chopped down its forests, and clouded it. Nature and our own survival rest on a knife's edge.
It's time to ratchet up the action that we need to have at the country level.
The United Nations Environment Programme was established with one goal in mind: to unite the world in saving our planet.
It is clear that the environmental crisis which is confronting the world will profoundly alter the future destiny of our planet.
For 5 decades, UNEP has used science and its mandate to bring the world together to help nations find solutions to grave environmental threats.
What is this pollution that we have heard so much about?
The Mediterranean is sick. It's being poisoned slowly but steadily for those who need it most.
The 1970s found a world grappling with an unprecedented crisis of pollution. Could the seemingly irreparable damage be undone? UNEP inspired the world to take action, preventing oil spills and toxic discharge by ships, uniting 143 coastal states to limit ocean pollution and save marine life, reducing air pollution and ending the scourge of acid rain. But soon, the world would face its biggest environmental challenge yet.
The destruction of the ozone layer on a global scale is no longer just a theory. The hole over the Antarctica is no longer an isolated seasonal phenomenon.
If the breach continued to grow, the planet would suffer lethal levels of ultraviolet radiation, harming human health, biodiversity, and climate. In 1987, UNEP facilitated the Montreal Protocol. Over 30 countries agreed to phase out the production of almost 100 ozone-depleting substances. The protocol remains one of the greatest achievements of multilateralism.
All nations gathered here can be proud of what...
This success set the tone for a series of powerful accords, limiting the movement of toxic waste across borders, protecting the Earth from dangerous, long-lasting chemicals, and restricting